What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel. And if you guys are new, welcome. The community here has been growing super steadily lately, and it's all thanks to you guys. So thank y'all for coming in, participating in the Discord, on the YouTube, on TikTok, everything like that means a lot to me. Love welcoming those new players, those fellow Guardians, my fellow Jedi and Padawans. So thank you guys for that support lately. Now in today's video, I want to go over our new SMG from the Guardian games called the Title. This is a Void SMG that has that Hakke intrinsic trait on it, plus a nice little extra intrinsic trait that we got especially for the Guardian games, especially on this weapon. I think it's going to be a top tier SMG for PvE, especially with Void 3.0, and I think it might have its place inside of the Crucible as well. So this SMG comes from completing the initial quest for the Guardian games from Evil Levante at the tower called Best in Class. There's a few different steps for it, pretty simple to go through and bang it out. You just got to go through, run some of the Gambit, Crucible, anything like that with those contender cards that we have and progress the steps. You'll eventually have to talk to Zavala to continue the quest, and then you actually get to play in those new game modes, the strike scoring and that recreational Vanguard playlist. And at the very end of the quest, you get the role that everyone gets on this weapon, just the initial one that we have with the title here. Now, there is a little bug going around as far as I can tell and seen on Twitter, that it is not dropping from the other activities and the rewards from getting those higher end rewards via the packages, spending your laurels, medallion, stuff like that, and spending it at the podium. So they are trying to fix that for the random rolls, but once it gets fixed, I definitely have some god rolls that we're going to go over here for both PvP and PvE. Think this thing is going to be absolutely slapping, but initially everybody's going to get that same exact roll that I will show right here via the Best in Class quest from Evil Levante. Now, the role that everybody is going to get is this bad boy right here, where we have Arrowhead Break, Corkscrew, High Caliber Rounds, Light Mag with Grave Robber, so final melee blows, reload this weapon. That is kind of cool. And then Vorpal Weapon. Not the best role overall, but I am definitely most interested in these two perks on this SMG, especially Classy Contender. Final blows with this weapon grant class ability energy. So that means for your hunters, you will be getting your dodge back faster. For our warlocks, you'll be able to throw your rifts down faster. And finally, for our titans, you'll be able to throw those barricades down faster. Now, this can be kind of broken. I had tried it out, and you can see kind of in the background gameplay, when you are getting those kills with this SMG, those defeats, it'll actually raise up your class energy pretty fast. Even at tier 10 like I am here, you can throw down shields, especially like this Void 3.0 shield, having that bastion on it to get the overshield. You're throwing these down pretty consistently. So we have some fun builds that I'm going to be making with this as well. Definitely one of the best original traits that we have on a weapon so far. On top of that, we have the Hakke Breach armaments. So this weapon deals increased damage against vehicles, turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals. So this might be a very good weapon to also pair with your Titan in Crucible, shooting those barricades, and then also stasis crystals, being able to break them a lot easier within either Crucible or PvE. Now, as we can see right here, this is an aggressive frame, just like our Ikelos SMG that we had many seasons ago, one of the best SMGs that we have had in the game. As you can see, almost 22,000 defeats for me on this bad boy. So it shoots at 750 rounds a minute, just like the Ikelos SMG. Pretty fast firing rate, so you're definitely going to need some stability on this weapon. And then also that magazine size for me is pretty slow, as well as the reload. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking for our PvE, especially higher magazine size, a little bit faster reload, that extra stability on this bad boy. So for our god rolls right here, this is dim, where we can see all the other perks that we can get rolled on this weapon. So first off, for PvP, I'm going to go over that one, and then we'll do PvE. So for me, for PvE, I'm actually going to go with corkscrew rifling right here for stability, range, and handling. Like I said, the stability on this bad boy, because it shoots so quick, is kind of bouncy, so that stability helps. And then in Crucible, handling lets you pull your SMG out a little bit faster. Now for Crucible, as always, we're going to go with ricochet rounds, pretty much the S tier perk for PvP, especially with something like auto rifles or just pretty much anything in all seriousness, because of the stability and the range that it adds to your weapon. Now for me, I have a couple different options in our 3rd and 4th slots for us, and you guys can kind of decide. Me personally, for my god roll, I'm going to go with dynamic sway, so the improved accuracy and stability when you continuously hold down the trigger, that's going to help with our stability on this weapon. And then as a secondary choice, we're going to go with perpetual motion, just because the bonus stability, handling, and reload when you're in motion, it comes pretty in handy when you're in Crucible. Now for the 4th slot, I wasn't really sure what to go with here. You can go with moving target as a secondary choice, so you gain movement speed and target acquisition while moving, while aiming down sights. So if you're sliding around corners, this could help a lot. But for me, I'm actually gonna go with swashbuckler if you're playing 6s, just because this thing is gonna get you that extra oomph on the kills with the extra damage, and you get a little bit of extra range on those bad boys as well. So that's for my PvP god roll. Now switching back to PvE here, where I think this thing is really going to shine the most compared to the PvP realm, we're going to have a bang and roll on this bad boy. So first off, for me, I'm actually going to go with small bore right here. So you have stability and range on this. So you have +6 on that stability, +6 on the range. So you're shooting farther, and it doesn't have that bounce on it. Now for me in the 2nd slot, it's usually between 2. Just as always, we're either going to go with extended mag to help out that magazine size, but it does hurt the reload speed for me. So I personally choose appended mag, because this one gives you that magazine increase without hurting your reload speed, and the reload speed on this weapon is already very slow, personally, at least for me. So I'm going to go with appended mag as my god roll in the 2nd slot. Now in the 3rd slot, in our 3rd column here, we have a couple different options again to go through, and I think you can kind of pair them based on your play style. So first off right here, threat detector, very, very good for increased reload, stability, and handling when enemies are in close proximity, which it gets procced very often for an SMG, because you usually have to be pretty close up and personal to get those defeats on enemies. So threat detector is very, very solid for this weapon, just because I love the reload. Like I said, super slow for me, so that increased reload is great. Now another option right here is stats for all. So after damaging 3-second enemies within 3 seconds of each other, you get a bunch of increases on your weapon with handling, stability, reload, range. And it is actually a decent moderation of time. Just sometimes hitting 3 different enemies can get challenging, especially if other guardians are taking those defeats as well. Not that you have to get the full defeat, you just have to do damage on them. So this is another great perk, especially if you pair it with a option in our 4th column. So if you're going threat detector, which I think I'm personally going to go for threat detector and swashbuckler, that's my god roll that I'm looking for, so you can get that increased damage on melee kills and kills with the weapon. This is going to be super good for putting out that little bit of extra damage, and when you're up close and personal, that'll be kind of nice as well. Now to back up that perk, especially if you get a stats for all, you can go with 1 for all, because again, you have to hit 3 separate enemies within 3 seconds of each other, and you get increased damage for a moderate duration of time. So if you pair 1 for all with stats for all, you hit those 3 separate enemies together, they both proc, and your SMG gets damage increase as well as handling, stability, reload, and range. It's quite a combo, but it is very specific with hitting 3 enemies at within 3 seconds of each other. So that's why I personally went threat detector swashbuckler. But if you have a stats for all, 1 for all roll, don't throw that bad boy away. Think it's also a very, very good roll for PvE. So hopefully this gave you guys a nice intro into this weapon, seeing what kind of rules you want for PvP and PvE. Definitely once they get it fixed where it'll be dropping more and even at all from those other activities within Guardian games, definitely be grinding for these two roles. I think it is going to be a super great SMG for the future. Like I said, just like our Ikelos at that aggressive frame, 750 rounds per minute. I loved the Ikelos, almost have, like I said, 22k defeats on this weapon. Definitely going to be racking this one up as well, especially with Void 3.0. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Pick out some nice roles for the weapon, PvP, PvE, especially once they start dropping from activities and we can get those random roles. Thank you guys again for the support. Come join the Discord, come and hang out. We have some fun in there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.